The Michigan State football program has gained all sorts of respect nationally in recent years. They've won 4 consecutive bowl games, defeating the likes of Georgia, TCU, Stanford in the Rose Bowl, Baylor in the Cotton Bowl last year. They finished in the top 5 the past 2 years. They've won major bowl games the past 2 seasons. Who are the 2 programs who were able to knock off Sparty last year? Oregon, Ohio State. Those games were decided advantages in regards to talent and speed on the other side. Michigan State hung in. They were close, but they lost by a couple scores in both games. Okay, this season, look at the 2 big obstacles between Michigan State and what Mark Dantonio considers to be their expectations and their goals and their objectives for this season. Mark Rogers TV looking at every schedule across America. We're in the Big Ten right now, and we are up to the 4th most difficult schedule in the conference. It belongs to Michigan State. And one of the reasons it's 4 and not higher is that the Big Ten East is the better of the 2 divisions, and Michigan State at least doesn't have to play themselves. Okay, let's look at the non-conference. So we take into consideration non-conference opponents, of course, in division. So we've looked at the SEC, the ACC, and the Big Ten, and there is a decided advantage for one of those 2 divisions. One is much more difficult than the other. I think the gap isn't real significant in the Big Ten, but considering Ohio State and Michigan State and a possible jump from Penn State and Michigan this year, the East is certainly better. Again, it's not a large gap, but it's there. So Michigan State does play in the East, but one of the reasons the East is so tough is because of them. They don't have to play themselves. Okay, the out-of-division games are crucial. So for Michigan State, it's a date at Nebraska, difficult game, November 7th. So you're looking at what we expect to be a fringe top 25 Nebraska team. So Michigan State playing probably the 2nd, maybe the 3rd most difficult game in the West. And they've got a layup against Purdue at home on homecoming. Yeah, that was appropriate scheduling out of Sparty there, October 3rd against Purdue. All right, the home stretch is difficult for Michigan State. They finished their final 4 games, starting with that Nebraska game on the road. Then they've got Maryland at Ohio State and Penn State to conclude 2015. This is the 4th most difficult schedule in the Big Ten. Once we conclude the Power 5, we'll throw them all together and we'll find out how difficult this is across America. But you don't get much tougher than Ohio State and Oregon. There are some soft spots, obviously, with Indiana and Purdue. Rutgers, Maryland are okay. Michigan, Penn State are the big wild cards because they could take a leap up this year in the Eastern Division standings. Other than Oregon non-conference, Michigan State with a light touch was taking on the directional Michigan schools in Western Michigan and Central Michigan. They've got an interesting date with Air Force right after they play Oregon as well. The Falcons, usually very tough to defend. Should be interesting. Need you to comment. Again, compare the schedules. Look at my 5th schedule versus number 4, Minnesota and Michigan State, and then who I will have at number 3. Let me know what you think right here on Mark Rogers TV.